Hi everyone, and welcome to this very, very special, and I look at the camera when I say this, very, very, very special Zoom feature, because what we're talking about is a couple of things. One, tomorrow, Ireland, France, in the Six Nations, Energia Park in Dublin. A win for Ireland sees them into the Grand Slam final when they will take on England. Strong Galway and Connacht connection to this Irish team. Of course, we've got Bevan Parsons, the superstar, on the wing. You've got Nichola Fryday, you've Laura Feely, you've got Katie O'Dwyer from Athenry, who's in the replacements. You've got former players like Sine Neopu. You've got Claire Malloy, Cleana Maloney, who are now playing their rugby across the seas, but also, of course, have very strong Galway backgrounds. I know I'm forgetting other people, like Hannah McDermott. She's from Sligo, but she's definitely Connacht. And you've also, as far as, there's a couple of others anyway, I think that are in there, but the girls will be able to enlighten me more on that, because I'm doing this completely off the top of my head. But the reason we're talking about it is not just because of Ireland and France tomorrow, but it's also to do with a very, very special fundraiser that has been organised by Clubforce and by Connacht Rugby, raising money, vitally, vitally needed funds for three important hospice services in the west of Ireland. We are talking about Galway Hospice, which you all know means a lot to me and has a very special place in my heart with fundraisers I've done in the past. But also, of course, from my days in Mayo Roscommon Hospice, who I would know very, very well from my days in Mayo and in Roscommon. Yeah, I did get around a bit. And also the gang in Northwest Hospice, because they provide fantastic services as well for the likes of Sligo, for the likes of Leitrim, and also not forgetting, of course, South Donegal as well, amongst other places. So the money that's being raised from this fundraiser is going to those three very, very deserving organisations. I don't like to use the word charity because, well, believe me, they do more than any charity, in my opinion, could actually do. But the reason I'm here is because of these two ladies that are here I'm speaking to. Of course, both of them are former Irish internationals. Both of them have served the green of Ireland on the rugby field with amazing distinction, part of fantastic teams over the past number of years. But they're now here representing the employers. They're representing Clubforce, who are organising this, and also of course, Connacht Rugby as well, with whom both have served as well over the past number of years with fantastic service. I'm not going to say if they've retired yet, because when they do meet me, when we all get back to meeting up again, I'll probably get a good right hand from both of them. Bottom line is, I'm delighted to mention two good friends of mine who've joined me, Mary Healy Nicole Fowley. Thank you both very much for joining me. And I am really, I said this when I was, we are recording this as well, by the way, just to mention this is not live, but I did say in a tweet I sent out, I was really excited about doing this, and for good reason I am, because it's great to mix rugby, fundraising, and some things that are very dear to me, like Connacht Rugby, and of course the hospice organisations and the work that they do. It's a lot to get through in the next few minutes, but we'll do our very, very best. And we'll also talk about their competition, which is a Try Predictor competition, which is really the main basis of this whole thing. Guys, thanks very much for joining me. Can I start off, Nicole, with you? Because you actually did a blog on this. It's on the Clubforce website. Can you give us a bit of a background into the work that, the work that's been done by hospice, but also why Clubforce decided to get involved and how they came about doing it?
I suppose, as they all know in Clubforce, we're both very passionate about sport in general, any sport, and women's rugby is very obviously close to our heart. And we are partnered with Connacht Rugby in a 3-year partnership to kind of grow and develop the women's game. So obviously at the moment we can't really do much on-field work. So we took this opportunity to kind of create a bit of a buzz around the Women's Six Nations and the home game this Saturday against France, which is going to be great. So we decided, we met with Connacht and we decided, yeah, you know what, we'll give it a try. It's the first time this has ever been done, and we'll see how it goes. We're looking forward to launching the link later today, as you said, for the first try score predictions. So I'm excited to see how it goes. The hospices of our charity are, as you say, don't want to call them charities, but they are official charity partners of Connacht Rugby. So, and also my mother works at Northwest Hospice, so I know exactly the hard work that's put in there within all the hospices. So we were happy to jump at giving all donations to the three great hospices
And geographically as well, Nicole, you'd have obviously your time playing rugby as well. You played a bit of soccer with Castlebar Celtic, a club that also means a lot to me, because during my time in Castlebar, I was a huge fan of watching that team. And in fact, I did the commentary when they won the Connacht Junior Cup back in 2003. That's not today nor yesterday. It is something that Mayo Roscommon Hospice, and can we touch on that for a minute, just on, as we kind of leave Castlebar into it and all that. Of course, Mayo Roscommon Hospice, Northwest Hospice, they find themselves in a very difficult position. Galway Hospice, I'm not saying they are different, because they're not, but they have more of a catchment area fundraising wise, because they're in an urban area like the city. With Mayo Roscommon Hospice, it's much more difficult, and with Northwest Hospice, because as regards urban areas are concerned, you've got maybe Sligo, Carrick and Shannon for Northwest Hospice. You've got maybe Castlebar, Ballina, Roscommon Town regarding Mayo Roscommon Hospice. It's not as easy to fundraise as maybe it might be a little bit in Galway. Is that a fair statement to make? And of course, it makes their services, it makes it all the more difficult for those services to be provided for people who need them.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly kind of why they've brought in all three hospices, to make sure that it's evenly spread out between all three. So they're just as important, the two, I suppose, smaller hospices within the Connacht province.
Yeah, and they do an almighty amount of work. Both of them do. Mary Healy, the work that's been involved already, and as I said, we're talking about this. So as we're talking about, the link is already live, but you're working in tech, so how difficult was it to actually get it all together? Because there's quite a bit. I mean, when you think about the Try Predictor competition, you've got to think about all the players that have been named in both squads. There'll probably be a tiebreaker in there somewhere as well. But it's a bit of fun as well, trying to put it all together and make sure it works and is live, which is a wonder. We've got a brilliant guy like Dylan Connolly to make sure that this works. But I mean, you've got that job.
Yeah, so thanks so much for having us as well. I just wanted to say that. But yes, what we did is we built it through our system in the way that we can with Clubforce, so we can collect some information, contact information if we need to. We can customize it to whatever we're kind of looking for. And then we just created the question. And so basically what that is I just named the question and then filled it in with all of the names. So we went through the team sheets and we populated them. So it's pretty much ready to rock now. We got the Irish team right, so we don't have to make any changes to the Irish team. And now we're just waiting for the French team to be released, and then I'll make the little tweaks here and there if we need to change any of the names. But then it's just a matter of me putting it fully live, and then everyone can start picking and guessing and entering in also the score, the finished score. So because Bevan Parsons scoring as many tries as she has, it may be the leader for this or the top pick. So we also need to figure out like if everyone picks Bevan and she ends up scoring the first try, then we also have to have a way that we can decide on who actually wins. So that'll come down to the score that's entered, and we'll be able to report on that. Now,
I want to talk about one other thing before we move on to the game itself, but I want to just mention the prizes that are on show, because people are going to be rewarded if the person does get it. There's a couple of very, very special prizes that are being handed out. Mary and Nicole, I don't know which one of you want to go with it, but I believe that the two Connacht captains have come on board, Nichola Fryday and Jarrad Butler, and that's special in its own way. And of course, you've got signed jerseys. There's a few other bits and pieces. So what exactly, if people do enter and want to enter this, what can they win?
Do you want to take it, Mary, or will I?
I kind of want to just say I'll leave it to you to talk about, but it started with a conversation anyway on how, like, what would the prizes be, and we just chatting away, we came up with this idea, and then we actually just loved it because we figured it was more of a powerful method for both young girls and young boys, and just boys and girls in general, like from all ages. We just found it was really powerful. So, and when I say powerful, it's really powerful to have Nichola and Jarrad on the same Zoom call. Like, it just, to us, that seems really powerful because you're putting the two of them on the exact same.
Mm-hmm. And two incredibly nice people as well, which is, it's a wonderful prize. Do you know what I mean? To have a chance to chat with two fantastic people, two fantastic players, and of course, two guys and girls. I just use the term guys overall anyway, everybody knows that, but that have served Connacht with so much distinction. Nicole, Jarrad has been a fantastic captain for Connacht in the past couple of years, and Nichola the same.
Yeah, like there's two huge role models for everyone in the whole of Ireland, all over the world, and what better prize to get than to jump on a Zoom, because obviously we can't meet each other in person at the moment. So we thought, what's the next best thing? And everyone's doing Zoom calls these days. So we said we'd jump on the bandwagon and give the lucky winner a chance to chat to these two amazing sports people and superstars. And Nichola is starting again this weekend. So she's doing great things as well for the women's game.
Really is. And the Rainbow Cup, of course, starts next week. Connacht taking on Ulster, Leinster and Munster in their opening 3 games of that particular competition. And as regards the rule changes, we're not going to go into that now, because I would probably say something I might regret later on as regards them. That's for the weekend, where Jerry Murphy and William Davies, they can sort all that out, because it's even too confusing to read. Never mind trying to figure out these new rules. But let's talk about Saturday, first of all. I mean, you've both been in this experience of playing with Ireland, of being in the bubble, as we call it. It's the kind of the collection of the players getting ready for the game itself, trying to stay out of any outside influences ahead of what is really a crucial game. And the Women's Six Nations over the past few years has really come on in leaps and bounds. I mean, England are still the team that sets the standards, but then they're fully professional. Regarding everybody else, it's almost who can challenge them. But you know what it's like to beat England. You know what it's like to be in that position. So this game against France is huge. It's a fair statement to make. Mary, I mean, I'll start with you. There's so much at stake in this game, because it is in all sense and purposes, it's a semi-final.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. To be in that camp now, I'd say it's just so electric. Like, it's so exciting, because they didn't get to play or test themselves against France last season. I think it was March time. The game got cancelled anyway. So it'll be a really good test, and I'm so looking forward to the game, because watching the girls play last Saturday, like, to see them playing with such confidence and such flair and like sharpness, it was deadly. Like, it was just exciting to watch, to see that the last 6 months have really coming together for the girls, and they're like, it's there, like it's clicking, and I'm super excited to watch them, because if you watch the French game the week before, they're also very sharp and looking very, very well. So I think it'll be a great matchup.
It really will, Nicole. I mean, the French are unusual. We always say this when we're covering games featuring the French. You don't know what French team is going to turn up, because you could get the French team that is full of flair, that are well known. It's traditionally their game. The ball has been spun around a lot. They love to use their pace. It's everything that everybody wants to watch if you're not playing them. That's brilliant. But you also can get the other French team who, and I don't know why, and this is the case with French club teams, French men's teams, whatever, if they don't have the right mental attitude, it'd be so well off not turning up at all, because sometimes it's just the way it goes with them. What can we expect from the French? Is it because it is almost a semi-final, as I've said, that we will get the former as regards French teams are concerned?
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a very tough game, but I've no doubt the Irish girls will be able to put it well able to put it up to them. What do we expect from the French? Who knows? But if we see the kind of unorganised, not sure what's going on France team, we should jump at that opportunity and take our opportunities as they come. Like, there might be miscommunications, just things might not go well for France on the day, and that's where we need to pounce and get on that loose ball, because I know we obviously know French rugby to keep the ball alive, and just the offloads, and sometimes they don't come off, and I think it's then we need to be ready to pounce and jump on any opportunities that we can, and challenge them, I suppose, in the backfield as well.
It's funny. I just mentioned, I'm looking at the Irish team. The way Adam Griggs has it set up, looks like he's going to take France, to almost take them head on. The way that he has his side picked. I mean, physically, Lindsay Peat, Ciana Maloney, Linda Duyang in the front row, very, very strong. The second row, of course, McDermott and Friday. I mean, there's no change from the team that hammered Wales. I mean, I could go into Claire Malloy, Ciara Griffin is number 8, Dorothy Wall is on the wing, is wing forward. Hannah Tyrrell is playing it out half. You've got Higgins and Naopo in the centre, Delaney and Parsons on the wing, and of course Emer Constantine at full back. So, I mean, the team itself is a very, very strong, very fast team. Up front, the strength is there, but you've also got the pace in the centre and in the wings, and you've got great skill. This is really if the French team is lined out the way we think it's going to be lined out, it's going to be a real head-on kind of clash between these two sides, and it's going to be who's the fittest at the end of the day to win it. Yeah,
like our pack is very dynamic. Like Lindsay Peat and the front row, they could all run just as fast as the flankers and the some of the backs. So like, you know, that's great, and that's another plus to the team, and getting those girls on the ball as well. You know, and they like to have nice tip-ons and nice line breaks. So it'd be nice to get some more tip-ons and get in behind the line a little bit quicker the next day. But I thought they all played really well last weekend, and if they put on the same performance, that'd be brilliant. They just need to go that step further now, because obviously Wales weren't on top of their game, I'll say. But I thought Ireland were exceptional, and the link between the forwards and backs, the handling, everything was really, really good in the first half especially. So if that's brought into next week at Saturday, we never know what happens.
Yeah, Mary, I mean, you've played as a scrum half, so the scrum half tends to be the kind of the engine room in many respects as well. But again, we're going to have this kind of battle up front with the forwards, as we've mentioned. But that 9, 10, 12, 13 kind of access could be really crucial, because that's a targeted area regarding the way the French played against Scotland. They showed that they're going to expect to do the very, very same thing here. So this is where a scrum half is going to have to be protected. And I'm kind of picking your position for a reason, because this is where speed is crucial now, as we're getting the ball out and getting it spread out and getting out of trouble as quick as possible.
Yeah, and I think like Catherine Jane's doing unbelievably well at that at the moment. Like the way she plays, like she's able to keep the defence like holding back, like they can't just rush up on her. So I think it's brilliant. And what I mean by that is like the way that she passes, if she needs to pick it, she'll pick it. But the way her first step is bringing her forward, which makes the defence sit straight away instead of bringing them on, because they're kind of watching her. So even just that small little thing that she does when she's passing, it makes a massive difference, and it gives her 10 or 12, 13 a bit more time. So yeah, I think the way she's playing at the moment is great, and it'll be great to see Hannah getting more time in the ball. And it's brilliant that the team hasn't changed, because you have to get your kind of your connections, your timing, and your feel for each other. But you only get that through playing games together.
Now, we've kind of given everybody a bit of a flavour of how we think the game is actually going to go, but I want to go back to the competition, because we are talking about that, and I want to now remind people once again that this Try Predictor competition, as you say, you've heard the thoughts now of Mary and Nicole of how they think the game is going to go. I'm not going to ask them if they think Ireland is going to win, because that's a stupid question. I know they both think Ireland are going to win, but I want to now kind of talk about the competition again, because the reason we are here, a Try Predictor competition run by Clubforce and Connacht Rugby, with the money raised from it going to Galway Hospice, going to Mayo Roscommon Hospice, and going to Northwest Hospice. And we talked about Mayo Roscommon Hospice and Northwest Hospice for a minute, Nicole, but I want to talk about Galway Hospice now, because the amount of work, and I know last year, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but of course, my hair is almost as long as it was back in August when we let it grow, and we did the haircuts for Hospice and Heroes, myself, Francis Kelly, and Mick Walsh and Niall McNeilis. We decided to do it out of madness, but it was good fun all the same. And we made a few quid for Galway Hospice, but it was a very important point made that particular night, and that was the fact that it continues. The money is given to them. It's gone almost immediately, because it's the services that they provide. And I want to focus on Galway Hospice for a moment, if I may. The services that they provide are crucial for people with cancer, for people not only with cancer, but also their families, providing them with support. And things are very difficult in this day and age because of restrictions. It can be a very lonely time for parents of children, for example, with cancer, or for friends or for family of people with cancer. Galway Hospice, we have to tip our hats, because they really do set the standard regarding hospice services all around the country.
Yeah, I know just from my own experience, it's Northwest Hospice, but I'm sure Galway Hospice are doing the exact same work as the other two. And I know from my mum being heavily involved and working there almost 30 years now at this stage. She's devoted to it. She loves her job, and I know that she gets a lot of thanks from families, friends, neighbours that see how much hard work that they do in there all the time, and how caring they are, and how passionate and just accommodating they are for the families and their loved ones, especially in these times now, and their times of need when they can't some can't come in at all. So it is very hard, and they're doing amazing work. Yeah.
And I mentioned before we go any further, and I'm going to now, we'll wrap up shortly, but I want to ask you actually, how do they enter? Because we haven't got to that stage yet. And how do they take part in this? But we just mentioned, of course, can we mention Connacht Rugby? Because it's, thankfully, it's been very good to the three of us over the past number of years in one way or other. And getting them on board, it's wonderful as well to have the people in Connacht Rugby involved with this. And they're going to push it left, right, and centre. I have no doubt. And of course, we lost the legendary Mick Grealish as well last week. And I want to just, acknowledge Mick on a personal level, because he was one of the true gentlemen, a boys' club man, and a man who was, as far as I remember, and somebody, I think it was Kieran Farty, told me this, that he actually told Jimmy Joyce to go and play with Corinthians from boys' club. Of course, Jimmy Joyce got capped for Ireland on the back of his time with Corinthians. So I wanted to mention that. And if I'm wrong, Flash, you have my full permission to ring me up later and give out. But that's the story I heard anyway. But this is why Connacht just means so much, though, because one thing Connacht has, and we'll just, on this note, before we mention the competition and how to enter, is that Connacht have always had a very strong, Mary, I'll go with you, and we see this, when you were playing, when you're playing your games, there's always a great sense of community amongst the squad. There was more than one cracking night after games, and you could just the crack and the laughs that, from the squad after games, win, lose or draw, was always good. There's always a sense of community, and I would dare say a sense of family, because it's not very often you have a group of people that can give out to you left, right and centre, and then you forgot about 5 minutes later. But that's the way Connacht Rugby is. It's just a wonderful bunch of people.
It is, and I can't echo that enough. When I started, I was late to play rugby, to take up rugby, sorry. But Corey Brown taught me how to pass, and he was the skills coach in Connacht at the time. But he took time out of his day to just help this new girl learn how to pass, and it's huge, it's massive. And so I'd be up in the sports ground passing, and he'd teach me how to pass. He'd record it and show it to me, and we'd see the progress. But not only that, he'd involve me with some of the other upcoming male scrum halves as well. So I was doing passing sessions with them. I passed with Kieran. It's been really brilliant. And I don't know if that's the case everywhere else, that everyone is so open to help. And we've been down doing running sessions on the pitch, and some of the lads have joined in. I think it was Gavin Duffy joined in with us one day just to do a running session, which was brilliant. And it is.
Someone's phone is going off in the background, but we'll thank you. But there's the wonderful thing about these things. But I mean, actually, you mentioned about, you would have been training with the likes of, with the boys at the time, likes of Kieran Marmion, John Cooney, I think was probably around that time as well. He was there. Aj McGinty was out half. I'm going back to the 2016 team, because that was roughly around the same time as you as well. There was always a great mix between the guys, the senior guys and the senior girls at interprovincial level, because they always tend to support each other. And that's one thing that does make Connacht very special. Now, Leinster, Munster and Ulster, you can have my full permission to have a go at me and say, yeah, it's the same in our place as well. Fine, up to you. But as far as I'm concerned, Connacht are the only ones who actually do that. That there's a great camaraderie amongst everyone, whether it be in the players, whether it be the lads doing the pitch, with Shawnee, or whether it be Willie, chief executive, or whoever is, whether it's Ambrose or whoever's coaching or Fraser, whoever's coaching the girls' teams, and the same with Andy and the team with the men. Everybody just really pulls together, because it's what we're about, isn't it?
Yeah. Bundy, sorry, Nicole, you're probably going to say that.
Yeah, no, I was just going to allude to Mary's point there. She got help with the scrum halves, and I was, for my first caps, I was going for centre 13, and I just happened to ask Bundy once we were doing the gym there one morning, and he came and coached at Galwegians as well, and I just happened to ask him to help out with my skills and just maybe some parts of the game that I needed to work on, and he was up for it. He took an hour out of his evening every Wednesday for a couple of months, I would say, just working with all of us, and we brought in some other girls as well, and I know we all found that hugely beneficial, that he took that time out of his, he's a busy man, and he took his own time to come and upskill all of us, and we're forever grateful for that. And a few other the guys as well, Nee, who's gone to Bristol now and who's flying out and got a new contract extension. Nee, Stephen Kieran's, I'm going to forget someone now, but
Kieran's is a gentleman.
AJ as well. AJ did some kicking with myself, and Jack did some kicking with me. So yeah, no, they've all been brilliant, and they're very approachable. I suppose that's one thing that's been great, and that is a sense of a great community that you can go and talk to someone, or if not, someone will put you in contact with them. So yeah, no, they've been really, really helpful.
And when the crowds get back to the sports ground, there won't be a roof on the Clan Terrace, I can assure you, with the roar that they're going to give. Right, we are nearly out of time. We've talked about everything, but we've forgotten one thing. How do you enter this competition? Because we haven't done that yet. Details will be actually underneath this anyway, so you haven't missed anything. But if people are interested in taking part in this, whichever you want to take it, how do they go about doing it? How do they enter? And we've already told them the prizes. They're absolutely fantastic. But how much does it cost is the next thing? And, just give us the details.
Do you want to go, Mary, or will I?
You far away.
Yeah. So the link should probably be live by the time this is going live, the link will be live. Just click the link, enter your contact details, and then a drop down will come down. Choose your first try scorer. Pick the try scorer from either France or Ireland. I know a lot of people are going to go straight to number 11 for Ireland. But you can scroll down. The substitutes are there as well. The finishers. So pick whoever you want, and then next, and you just put in some card details. It's €5 to enter. All proceeds are going to the 3 hospices that we mentioned already. So yeah, it's pretty simple. But the link will be available on all our social media channels, and we'll send it on to yourself as well. Okay, but there's nothing more that needs to be said, except you've been given the opportunity. You've been told what to do. It's quite a simple process. All you got to do is pick who you think is going to be the first try scorer. You're all going to go for Bevan Parsons. Me personally, I think Emer Constantine's going to do it. She did it against Wales. We'll go by form that way, to use a racing parlance. Just put in your details. Great prizes at the end of it all as well. And of course, you are helping 3 fantastic organisations in Galway Hospice, in Mayo Roscommon Hospice, and in Northwest Hospice. Mary, Nicole, thank you both so much for joining me. Enjoy the game on Saturday. And thanks so much for having us, guys.
It's been an absolute privilege. And thanks indeed to you as well for watching this. Please get involved. Please be part of this. And I can assure you, you will not be disappointed. That's all that has to be left to be said. Just thanks to Dylan Connolly for sorting all this out and making sure that it does look that good. Galway Warriors t-shirt, by the way, from 2012, in case you were wondering. That's the American football team in Galway City. I couldn't find my Connacht one. It was still in the wash. Look, enjoy it. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.